Well, before we get going to anything remotely fun, sadly a ghost from Brony past refuses to move on. This is Shadow Reader, thanks to ObabScribbler for finding this one real quick. There is a second Shadow Reader with over 8,000 subscribers, who covers, oddly enough, creepypasta as well. This guy here is completely innocent. Please leave this one here alone. This one here, with 100 subs, and this picture is our area of concern. If you didn't read the tweet that I put up from Obab, or Obai, we'll play a brief clip here of Shadow Reader's audio.
Well, hello everybody, and this is the Shadow Reader here, and I'm coming to you with this introduction video, and I don't know how well this is going to go.
Now, despite the audio being somewhat similar to the late Dusky novel, who ran out of the fandom when he was busted for ERPing with an 11-year-old.
You ruined an 11-year-old girl. I hope you can live with that.
I can't.
You ruined a girl's innocence because of what you did. I'm livid right now.
Might still not be convinced. Now, that whole call is up on BitChute. Sorry for this all sounding like I'm beating a dead horse. If you don't feel that's close enough to Dusky's voice, I'm going to play a clip here from Shadow Reader that Skypaw pitched up and played with the audio a little bit, so thank you to Skypaw.
Well, hello everyone, this is the Shadow Reader here, and this is a video I did not want to make, but I'm forced to. I am being accused of being someone that I used to know. I used to know this individual. I am being accused of being Dusky novel.
You're going to have to decide if it's him or not for yourself. The link down below to Shadow Reader's channel. As per usual, thanks to all members of the VA community who sought at some time or another to make the community safer. Special thanks for members of the analysis community who came on for the PSA podcasts that recently went up on this channel. I'm proud of everyone who's been involved. Now let's play that damn intro. Ladies and gentlemen, I said I'd be getting into Digibro this week, but the artwork isn't done yet. But there are oodles to talk about, so we're going to be getting to that instead for the time being. Jack Nolan, aka Commando Solo, in his true Jerry Pete-esque fashion. Old Nolan has turned off the like to dislike ratio on his recent video here. You can still hit dislike, only Jack will be able to see it, for his abuse in the Brony community video, as well as silenced the discussion below the video. But I did manage to get this gem from Jack before he shut off his discussion section. This is from Chambers of My Heart. Chambers of My Heart. Jack, I really feel that you need to brush up on your internet lingo, dude. Jew refers to money grubber and manipulating people for money, conning them out of it or scamming them. They're not referring to any actual Jewish people, I'm sure. Also, for you to label them as neo-Nazis without knowing full well what an internet Jew is comes off as really cringy and very SJW-like. Horse news, from what I know, are shit talkers and nothing more. Why feed the trolls? It's best to ignore them and let their influence and reputation diminish. You gave them attention and they keep doing it. That's how shit works. Chill, my man. Here is Jack Nolan's response to Chambers. Commando Solo. Twyfag, that's corpulent to you audience down below, didn't know publishing a picture in which KP raped in effigy would frighten and degrade her. Those articles with virulent anti-Semitic language aren't hurting or intimidating anybody. It's just some kids' lingo I didn't recognize. We can no longer judge people by their words or actions because internet. Chambers, were you out sick the day they explained right wrong in class? I've been on the net since before AOL sent all those free CDs in the quarter century. I can't remember ever reading a more rubbish argument. That's an achievement. Twyfag knows he screwed the pooch, or he wouldn't have asked me to remove his photo. Now, addressing this, the effigy that Commando Solo is referring to is a Daki Makra. It's the body pillow, or more apt, sex pillow. The sex pillow in question was commissioned by KP by Inspector Brony.
An entire shipment of Dakis for further inspection. Now I can plainly see here that these don't have the horse.
Radio edit. I understand. No one has to be horse famous, and they just keep treating you so bad. And I just want you to know that they should have a whole convention just for you, and all the people would come, and you'd get every panel.
KP is secure.
I know this because I've asked Inspector Brony, which KP picked up late, by the way. So what Solo is saying is rape is someone who allegedly had sexual relations with an object that said fan paid for, which was for sale. The object was meant for sex. This isn't like Vita forcing sex on another man's chair.
He at one point masturbated using my chair, because Vita only masturbates by rubbing his dick on a chair. That is the only way that he masturbates.
Levels of drunk, and at one point I passed out outside of his bedroom door.
I heard that you were coming on him while he was asleep.
We'll get back to that someday, which was a clear case of rape because Vita did that to a chair that he didn't own. It was someone else's. Due to its dramatic trauma, now identifies as a love seat. It's no laughing matter. Getting back to the KP docky, this was consensual with an item that is called a sex pillow. If you're looking at the image of KP's docky, she paid for it to be designed in a certain manner. The meme is she wants to have relations, an intimate matter with Discord. That's the joke, Jack. Unless you're saying it's okay for when KP wants to quote-unquote rape someone. I don't know what's going on in your mind, Jack. Well, actually, yes I do. I think you know exactly what you're doing. The fans straight up told you you're full of shit, and I encourage fans who are tired of not given the opportunity to respond to speak out down below. By all means, Jack, you can make a reply. I won't silence that like you've done to so many other people. I have since talked to peers or at least friends of KP on some level who are less than happy with what you've done. And you even didn't allow those people a place to correct you. Now, let's get to this month's winner, whose story is almost at an end. Crystal Mountain PonyCon. At about 1 hour into a stream I did over on Fan and Frenzy, the name of the video will be in the far off year of 2005, I ended up reading off what happened to be a presumably heartfelt goodbye by a David Halliday, the president of Crystal Mountain PonyCon. It's a good 4 pages long, and I'm sure a lot of time, if nothing else, went into writing it. And with that note, we could all go home happy, having learned the lessons of friendship from Mr. Halliday, and said a 6 years journey with Crystal Mountain PonyCon. But to paraphrase from an old friend, Event Horizon, this is how not to brony, bitch. You're here because you fucked up. If you've seen the recent Horse News article, you might have gotten bored or confused. The long-form reading of that is up on Fan and Frenzy if you just want to listen. But for a condensed version, for everyone out there with ADD, attention deficit disorder, the only 2 names you really need to pay attention to are David Halliday, the president of Crystal Mountain PonyCon, and that's the fine gentleman who penned the farewell letter. The other being, this is Mr. Stefan Wintry, this vile, disgusting, awful monster of a man that attempted to single-handedly destroy Crystal Mountain PonyCon. Here is where Wintry, the former head of the vendor relations, said that there were 80 pre-registers for Crystal Mountain PonyCon and a projected attendance of 150. Just for perspective, High Roller PonyCon had an attendance of 300, and from what I'm told, it is a smaller convention not unlike Crystal Mountain. Wintry states that Crystal Mountain has been out of money for months. Now, there is a bit of discrepancy between Wintry's numbers of the 39 vendors and the final number on the official site stating 33. We'll have to wait and see from the head count from anyone going to the event to see who was lying. Just keep in mind, the con lost money buying big names from the show like Nicole Oliver, the voice of Celestia. It's kind of funny. When I've had unofficial names on the podcast, I was annoyed that I struggled to do 1,000. when in person these names struggled to crack 100 pre-orders. Keep that in mind, I got about 800 views with Bill Newton for free. Must suck to be a con that spent thousands for 3 show staff members like Peter New, the voice of Big Mac, but let's read off the discussion between David Halliday, and Stephen Wintry. It's a good 6 pages. David Halliday, so I checked our finances with Scott last night. It's worse than I thought. We talked it over and made the decision to accept all applications that aren't inappropriate, basically as long as someone isn't selling drugs or porn or food they're in. Scott will invoice them right away. If you are worried about the space, just keep in mind that we can expand to half or the whole wing at any moment. We will get the vendors the space they need. Lock in the current map you have and we'll add to that. Stephen Wintry, what? If they want to be in the vendor hall, approve them and take their money. Stephen Wintry, okay, this is not possible. Short answer, no, I'm sorry, but this is not a good idea. Sardine packing our vendor hall is not the way to go. PhillyCon did this. It was a nightmare. To be using the vendors as a cash cow in the first place is bad, but allowing it to get this bad, I'm gonna be frank. You should not have a con if you are in this bad of a situation. I have consulted with various chairs and other vendor leads on this. We all agree this is not the way to go. Your pre-reg numbers are bad, like really bad. In reality, a good ratio of vendors to attendees is 7 to 10%. We have the same amount of vendors as our pre-regs. Atrocious. I have been trying to work around and pour hours in fixing this situation. You have. I mean, look at AV. AV is bad too. Borrowing mics and speakers for panel rooms, that is bad. Every con I work for has issues, and I usually resolve them. Do this, and there is nothing I can do to help you. And before you send Scott or Julie after me, like you did last time, you know, instead of talking to me yourself, I want you to think about this. Vendors are not going to stand for this. Your vendors are going to be mad at you. They are going to be mad at me if I let this go through. Forget getting more space. Even though I keep asking for an updated map, you realize that both yourself, Scott, and I are going to be held accountable for the misfortune we are bringing on the vendors. I'm talking legally too. Yes, vendors can take legal action if you feel they have been scammed. Even if it's not that bad, vendors will still hate you for this. Add to the fact that I chose to sign my name to this vendor hall. My name carries a lot of weight. Think about all this. Get back to me yourself. I have a BronyCon booth to set up now. David Halliday, thank you for talking with me tonight. I hope you understand our situation better and can adapt to meet CMPC's needs. Until then, I won't bug you anymore this weekend so you can focus on selling. Please do me the favor of not consulting anyone about CMPC matters. If you can encourage people to buy tickets and fill out apps, that would be appreciated. We'll talk again Monday, August 1st. Well, what is your verdict? We need the vendors, and we are willing to expand and reorganize to make it happen. Stefan, I hate to rush you, but I need a verdict. Are you in or out? Our updated map with more slots. I need an answer by Sunday evening, or I will assume that you are resigning. Areas of concern that Wintry brought up in that he was not allowed to see how much was left in the budget, something Brony Inspector told me that asking to see such a thing if you were in Wintry's position would have been perfectly reasonable at any other convention. Now, if that's bad optics, and you work at one of these conventions, by all means chime in down below. Now, Wintry stated when he pointed out very few vendors from last year made money, David said he lost $10,000. That's presumably David Halliday, the president of Crystal Mountain PonyCon. Now, if you're asking if any of these guys from Crystal Mountain PonyCon are involved in any other conventions, I came across this name, Scott Kinnersley, who's on the board of directors of Crystal Mountain PonyCon. He staffs for Babs, Windy City, Ponyville Cider Fest, and China BronyCon, as well as the chair of Everfree Northwest. If you're a vendor or a con attendee, you could try reaching out to this guy or David Halliday on Twitter. Remember, be polite and patient, and if he blocks you, by all means, I look forward to hearing from any of you real soon. And David, you better buckle up. The best, or the worst as it seems, is still coming down the pipe. Friendly reminder that Crystal Mountain PonyCon is August 31st through September 1st. Links to the website down below. It should be magnificent, if not for all the wrong reasons.
I try my best, you know, like especially I'm not really in the My Little Pony community, and I don't not to be offensive, but yeah, I know that you do have a few more special.
Oh no, you're changing your image.
You have a few more special fans than I'd say I do in the horror community. But one thing I do have in the horror community in abundance is a lot of people who don't understand their love for the horror, the horror genre in general. You know, I mean, even my own grandfather at my brother's graduation told me that I was a godless heathen who's going to burn in hell because I don't make Christian-related videos.
Oh,
and that
but
I
that's
only
why
do
I
this
love
for
you.
money. Exactly.
Oh dear, you too.
There's a lot of people out there with very similar stories, you know, like I love the horror genre and it is so much bigger than people give it credit for. They, you know, like, you know, you of course you got your psychological thrillers and all that jazz. You got your gory movies. You got literally there's a bit of horror for everyone in my opinion, but that's not the point. There's a lot of people in my community who suffer from depression who are, you know, the people who go to Hot Topic fairly frequently to dress up in very dark and depressing clothing. People who, you know, take the horror fandom to the nth degree. And as much as I'm totally willing to do that because I have a license to be an edgelord, it does lead to some family conflict sometimes. And I've been presented with many stories about how, you know, my videos help them keep connected to the community and, you know, all that stuff. And
I do have to ruin this. I just want to let everyone know that he's not lying. At BronyCon, in the dead of July, he was walking around with a trench coat and refused to take the goddamn thing off. Because my image, I have to keep my goddamn trench coat on.
I gotta be the edgiest damn person in the room. You don't forget it, FNGR.
I gotta break the ice here, with the exception of Golden by Demons.
It cut out. I didn't hear Golden Fox. Then what would you say? It skipped.
I said, with the exception of Golden Fox, am I surrounded by demons?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, good thing I'm right next to you.
What is with me and attracting demons?
Nope,
I've actually seen
love you too, Harry.
videos.
Yep, love you too.
It's gonna quote Piccolo from Team Fortress 2. It's like, no, we're more slug people. It's hoping to be demons.
I've actually seen quite a few of your videos, Lightning Blitz, before I actually had a chance to meet you or Josh Scorcher.
I know, they're not that good.
Well, I mean, some of them are okay.
They're okay, I guess.
Like you know, I mean, if I had absolutely nothing else to watch on a Saturday afternoon while my mom was screaming obscenities at me and I couldn't watch what I wanted to watch, then yeah, I could see myself watching, like, you know, your most popular video.
Yeah. He's like, I would watch it before I would throw on Mundane Matt. Sure.
You know,
I feel so loved.
you are better than Mundane Matt.
Yes.
Is that really that hard though?
No.
Hey, you gotta take the compliments where you can get them.
Yeah.
Oh no, I know I need improvement on my style and reviewing and whatnot.
I'll gladly. One of these days I want to do Darkest Moments in My Little Pony, and I want to get you in there. I want to get Silver, and I want to get Josh.
I do,
and I want them to invade the channel.
I do want to
meme.
chill for Creepy right here. He's looking for a writer currently. Who is anyone? Was it $20 for script?
Yeah, I do $25 per script.
Yeah, so if any you guys know anybody who's a competent writer, you know, i.e. not me.
I can recommend Umbra or Joey Turner. They're pretty good.
Isn't Joey more of a comedy? I'm not trying to undersell Joey, but isn't he more of a comedy writer?
Yeah,
I
he
do
is,
comedy on the
but-
channel.
Yeah, he is, but
But just I keep everything related to horror, so it's more of a horror comedy. Like right now, I'm making fun of horrible Christian shows for kids.
It's creepy as an off topic. Something to entertain you. Look up the Satanic Panic news stuff because most of those have been uploaded to YouTube. They're like all the shit they're spewing. It's hilarious.
Oh god, I gotta take a look at it.
And some are like from 1990, 1988. It's like, wow, they're sacrificing a woman, and here's a child saying about how they surrounded her with cloaks and made her stab her mother to death. It's like really funny, but they're like trying to present it like it's legit happening, kind of thing.
Okay, I gotta take a look at that. I got one of my favorite lines from the Christian script right here, which I haven't right in front of me actually, is Joshua in the Promised Land is the worst thing ever created through the use of human hands. That cracks me up every time I narrate that.
Is it like something like Chick Flicks or whatever it was?
It's
Chick Tracks.
Yeah, Chick Tracks. I can't think of the damn names.
It's not I don't really riff on it. It's a list, so I have a bunch of these Christian shows. So think about if you cut up that Hug a Bunch Kids review you did and scripted all of it, and then like you just cut it up into like 22 different show-sized pieces where we could talk about not only the Gospel Bill show, Joshua and the Promised Land, but also Rap City Street Kids. We're kids.
Yeah, is that something that Mr. Enter reviewed that one time?
Yeah, Mr. Enter reviewed it, but so did a lot of people.
Okay,
But I
also
don't really care.
Look up Darkest Dungeons. It's trying to demonize Dungeons and Dragons. It's fucking funny.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. But I gotta keep it mostly related to the kids.
Yeah, just to let you know.
Yeah, we have to roll it back.
I don't know which one of you mistook the other person as sucking up to John Enter, but I assure both you gentlemen, each person here doesn't like them. Well, of Peter and Creepy.
I feel like for a guy who has that many subs and makes that much views, he should invest in a good quality microphone. And when I'm hearing hissing and a fan in the background of a review that has 200,000 views made in 2018, which is something I learned how to get rid of in 2014 with a Google search, I kind of get a little annoyed.
He has an editor who uses Movie Maker for him.
Oh my goodness.
Dude. Yeah, no, that's what I've been told.
Oh gosh.
God, Jesus. I even when I first started, I was using freaking Sony Vegas. I mean, like, and that's like the peasant version of Premiere.
Yeah.
When did you actually start?
My first videos were made in 2014, 2013 with the podcast. I started this channel late 2014. So
Okay. Sorry if I'm like parading in on this topic.
No, come in.
I know it's kind of like off topic from the actual article, but there are some people who have to start out with the only hardware that they currently have, and they cannot afford any bigger hardware. But even in that particular case, if you're making a lot of money through YouTube, there really is no excuse to like prevent yourself from buying a better microphone, so that way you won't hear that fan in the background or have an echo.
Just
of an
turn
entire
off
room.
the freaking fan. It's not hard.
Or better yet, record in a closet, because that's what I do.
I don't even need to do that. I just turn off my freaking fan into air conditioning, right?
I really
deal
want
with being a little sweaty for an hour.
I really
Even
want.
you have to. Noise removal is the easiest thing to do in Audacity.
Yeah,
Not to mention she's using like a Blue Yeti for some freaking reason. Like I know how it's not that hard to upgrade to something that won't create that hiss. Better yet, there's some tricks in the Blue Yeti you can do to get rid of it, like not plugging it in right next to where your graphic card is, because the graphic card creates more noises. But no, this guy just I don't know how he has this many subscribers and just gives so little of a shit for what he uploaded. If I had that hiss in my background, I'd be like, shit, gotta re-record. But no, this guy looks at it like, that's okay, gotta upload it. Like, it's awful. I don't understand why his quality just is so poor. It's easily fixable.
This is normally where I would say the thoughts and opinions don't reflect. No, they reflect. I'll stand on this hill. Fuck it. Downvote the video.
I don't know the guy personally, but all I do know is that his quality of content speaks for itself, and me and a lot of my friends who have been requested to reach out to this guy to get him in one of our videos have just been very apprehensive just because his quality is terrible. It's something that I wouldn't want in one of my own videos. And when I'm saying this guy with 200,000 subscribers has quality so piss poor that I wouldn't even put him in one of my shitty videos. You're doing something wrong. I'll literally collab with anybody, but Jesus Christ. That guy I just feel like someone needs to come up to him, slap him, and teach him how to,
I still remember telling him, and I was like, hey, he's one of Josh's friends, and he's like, nope, don't like this.